All
Hey,
right.
fandom. Cowboy Joe here. Got my buddy here, Jeff. We're back, guys. We are back.
We are back and we're glad to be back. What's up, fandom?
Yes.
Glad to join you here tonight, this evening, and kind of get our show back on the air.
You guys are staying safe, right? Because I know all this stuff that's happening around the world right now. It's got everybody freaking out. I got me here, the NFL channel, watching old Cowboy games. That's who I'm just on. I'm pretty sure Jeff is watching, the release of Cam Newton. It's going to be a tell-all book, by the way. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to discuss. There's a lot that's happened this offseason. I mean, Cam is the huge story.
Yeah.
Let me get your take on it. First of all, what do you think? Was he done wrong? What do you think we should expect out of Cam Newton next year? Where does he land? Lots of questions. Just curious what your take is.
My take? I'll tell you right now what my take is. And you know how I am. I have no holds barred, no filters. I will tell you exactly how I feel. I think he was done wrong. I think they should have told him, or they should have mentioned this last season before the end of the season. Don't do it in free agency. Don't do the start of free agency and tell me, hey, you know what? We're going to go in another direction. We got Teddy Bridgewater coming in, and, look for another option. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't appreciate that. And you know me, I was a big Cam, not a Cam supporter in our past, but he was done wrong. And I'm sorry, fandom. I think I would like to hear what you guys think, but from my viewpoint, I think he was done wrong. And Cam, if you're listening, Cowboys are looking for a quarterback. If Dak holds out, who knows? MVP in Dallas, maybe? Jeff, what do you think? I guess Jeff is having technical difficulty, fandom, but you know what? I'm still here, and we'll talk throughout this. What do you guys think? You think that Cam was done wrong? I think he was, honestly. What do you guys think about the Teddy Bridgewater signing? I think he's young, he's hungry, he wants to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think it's a good signing in a way. I don't know. I haven't seen everything out of Teddy Bridgewater yet to say it's a good signing. It's a wait and see for me, I think. And for you know Robbie Anderson coming in there, I don't know, man. Why do you guys need so many receivers? I'm just I think you guys have two of the youngest up and coming receivers in the NFL right now with DJ Moore and Samuels. I don't think you guys need another receiver. I know he's a burner, he's good, but you guys have so many holes to fill that I think you guys should have taken care of those first, get those needs going before going out and getting another receiver. I think that was just a miss in my part from you guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just kind of lost my connection here. So you were solo there for a minute.
Yeah, no, I think I mentioned Anderson as Robbie Anderson.
Well, wait, it is Robbie Anderson.
I
What are you
know.
talking about? All right. So I completely missed your take on Cam Newton because of my internet. Darn internet.
I guess you're gonna have to log into YouTube and watch it then.
Yeah, I guess I will. But I think I got the gist of it, though. You were saying that you thought that he was done wrong, that he was the one who came out and said that, hey, I didn't ask for this. You did this. It's
And it's
not
true.
great.
It's true. He didn't ask for this. He was getting ready to come back into Carolina and lead that team. Again, you missed the Teddy Bridgewater. Also, what I said, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. It's a hit or miss for me right now because I haven't seen the full arsenal of what Teddy Bridgewater could do. I think it's a miss on the part of signing Anderson when you have two of the youngest up and coming receivers that you have. These guys are great receivers, Moore and Samuel. That I believe those guys now just put Anderson in them. Just I don't know. I don't like that. You guys
I'm
have so many holes to fill.
I'm wondering if Curtis Samuel is now on the trade block. And the reason, of course, the reason why Robbie Anderson was such a big find is because of his
He's a
uh,
burner. He's a speed.
Well, right, but his relationship and his rapport with Matt Rule in Baylor.
And
So
you know what? This is what I don't know. I guess this is an NFL thing. Typical coaches want to bring back their players or people they know or are comfortable with, and it makes sense. You know, bring back players that you feel comfortable with. Just but when you have two of the youngest up and coming receivers, and you have a duo, it's very hard to find in the NFL two number ones because I think Samuel could be a number one if he puts the effort. You know, Anderson just puts them on like a notice, like, hey, I'm here now, because of Rule.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. As a player, former player, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. But of course, if you've got players that you are familiar with, and those players are familiar with you, it's better than starting off with a blank space, and trying to fill that void. So they've already signed. Let's see, he's one. Robbie Anderson, that is. They signed Keith Kirkwood, also another receiver with ties to Rule. Gosh, who else? Tahir Whitehead, the linebacker who comes from Oakland, who has had 100 tackles or more in 4 straight years.
That's a good sign.
That's a good signing, right? And also PJ Walker too, the XFL quarterback from Houston. He was looking like he was marching himself into the MVP award for the league until, of course, things shut down. But PJ Walker is familiar with Rule from his time in Temple. So, I mean, what's there, 4, maybe 5, at least 4 players who have ties to Rule from his former jobs.
And it makes sense. Bring the players you feel comfortable with. Bring the players that you know what they can do. I get that. And you know what? As a former player, I would love my coach to bring me in and hey, I know what you do. I know what you are capable of doing. This is why I brought you in. But as a player in the other side of it, bringing in a player that I don't know and it's in my position, I feel like, hey, what's going on here? Let's put it this way. Moore and Samuel didn't have everything that they needed last year. First of all, we didn't have an offensive line.
Right?
Christian McCaffrey was a beast without a line. Allen was Allen, a quarterback, just a backup quarterback. And I get that.
Right.
These guys weren't giving the weapons or the tools to succeed, to become those dynamic players that I know they could be.
I would say outside of offensive line right now, and I wouldn't say it's one of the worst in the league, but it definitely is in need of repair. But I would say that the Panthers offense looks pretty decent here so far. I mean, we haven't even had the draft yet. It's the defense that they need to focus on.
With Kuechly gone, that's the biggest gap and the biggest hole you guys got to fill right there. And right. I understand Burns and Short are going to be the ones that are going to be trying to fill most of that void. But losing a guy like Kuechly is like losing your right arm, really.
Yeah. And I mean, it's nice for them to get Tahir Whitehead in there, at least somebody who is familiar, can play that captain role on defense if needed. Obviously we know that he's a tackling machine, so that's a good thing. But
which is good.
Now the question is, what do you think we'll get into the draft here? What do you think they're going to do with their first pick?
I think they're going to trade down and try to maximize their picks because they need to fill those gaps in that D line that they lost. I understand signing, a couple of defensive tackles here and there is good, but they need those outside edge rushers, those rushers that could actually get to those quarterbacks. Because remember, and I'm sorry, fandom, I'm not big on Carolina. Like, I haven't followed them as much, but I know their defense, and their defense has always been, we get to the quarterback. We have a good defense. We have a top 5 defense every year. Kuechly gone. Now you got McCoy gone. You got Poe gone. You got all these players just going away. And
James Bradbury. James Bradbury gone. Oh God, it's a huge hole.
You got your corners now gone. You released Reed, so now you got to come in and say, let's start afresh. bring in a young player that's hungry, bring a player that is going to be like a Bosa and come in there and make an impact directly right now.
Oh man, I'd love a Nick Bosa. Where can I get a Nick Bosa? I don't think there is one in this draft.
No,
there just isn't.
Not this draft.
Mm-mm.
So I think the Panthers trade out of their pick in the first round and try to maximize as much picks as they can, or go in later in the first round.
So right. So if they drop down from 7, you're thinking, well, if they drop down really far, then they're going to get some good picks in return, possibly even at 1 next year, which would not be a bad strategy, right? But then again, then you're stuck with lesser talent. You won't necessarily get a cornerback along the lines of Jeff Okudah, or a linebacker like Isaiah Simmons, or a defensive tackle like Derek Brown. But maybe you could get like the next best thing.
But let me tell you something. Those players are going to be gone before even the Panthers pick.
You think all 3 of those?
There are teams that want them, and there are teams that will trade up to get them. So that's what you got to be careful about. And I think that's where we're going to see Matt Rule at his best. Let's see if he actually, once he starts seeing those people, all his players that are coming off the board, and start seeing, hey, you know what, I don't think we have anything in the first round. Let's see if he does a Belichick and say, you know what, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go out to the second round. We're going to maximize more picks, maybe in later rounds, maximize for next year, do something.
What do you think the draft is going to be like this year? Now, obviously, it was supposed to be this huge gala in Las Vegas where the players were to be escorted to the stage out in the middle of the fountain at the
that is awesome.
They were supposed to do that, right? That's not going to happen. I mean, the players probably are not going to be there.
Oh no, with all this social distancing,
fans can't be there. It's going to be like old school NFL draft from like 1981.
Get your phones ready, players, and wait for your agents to call you.
Exactly. It's going to be good TV, I think, because it's going to be something that we haven't been used to. It's going to be more of a surprise. Wonder if there's going to be like leaks and stuff with beat writers, saying who's been picked, but how are they to know? So we're going to find out just as well as others, I think, at the same time.
This is also going to test ESPN and the NFL Network and these commentators, because they can't cut into a image of the crowd or a quick video of the crowd while they get their, excuse the language, shit together. But now they're going to have to fill those gaps with good old football knowledge, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious how it's going to look, what the reception's going to be. I mean, if you're anyone, you're probably going to be watching it because,
of course, definitely.
That's why they don't want to cancel. And it's going to be the only thing on. I mean, there's no sports for a month or longer, right? And this will be the first taste. Dude, so that's going to be big.
As far as sports, you know what I'm getting at sports to watch? I'm watching Instagram feeds of Curry just throwing little socks in his basket. Come on, dude. I need something. Give me something.
Yes, I know. Have you watched SportsCenter at all?
No. After all this social distancing, I think sports just once the NBA canceled, and
they were showing highlights from like 2009.
Oh my God!
Some college basketball game highlights. I'm like, what? We can't do this. This is horrible. I mean, what ESPN exec said, let's do this. Seton Hall versus St. John's, 2009.
Let's do it.
They're not going to know who wins. We'll just play it off. I mean, really, that's serious. That's kind of what was broadcasted. I'm like, what? No, no, it's bad.
I'm glad I'm not watching them, because honestly, it's bad.
Yeah.
And we can't blame anybody because of this, But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put it out there, fandom. I was number 1 in my NBA fantasy, and now I'm cut. Nobody wants to give me the title. I think I deserve the title, What are your thoughts? I think, look, I only lost 4 games in the NBA fantasy draft and the fantasy basketball, and I think I deserve it.
Yeah. No argument there.
Jeff, I'm not my way through all these trades, and I got a lineup that you can't believe, just like I did in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
hey, That's who's the commissioner in charge of that? I would give it to you. Why not? But I mean, what's the prize? Was there any prize, or was it just bragging rights?
Bragging rights and a belt, title belt, the
Ooh,
John Cena "You Can't See Me" belt.
nice.
And now I can't. Everybody sees me, but I can't do this.
Ah, boy. Oh well. What are
But
you
yeah,
gonna do?
fandom, we're back. And we're missing our resident Homer, which he's buckled down in the mountains right now, someplace. I don't know, making
Hopefully he's
moonshine.
safe.
He's making moonshine right now. Let's just put it this way.
He probably is.
But we're back. We want you guys to spend some time with us, and tell us what you think about what we should be doing. And again, now that you see me live, all bets I'll take any bets.
By the way, there was supposed to be an announcement in March between like the 20th and the 30th, so I hear, of what the Charlotte MLS team is going to be, their brand, their logo, their colors, and everything. And of course, without having a crowd, to be able to bring in the news and the announcement, they have postponed that. Oh. And who knows when that's going to happen? But I'm definitely looking forward.
That's some good news, though. You know
yeah.
why?
Well, wait, why?
I submitted my name for the Charlotte team.
What's your name?
The Charlotte Cowboy Joes. FC.
FC. Yeah, your theme song could be Cotton Eye Joe. You just let it all hang out.
Whoa. I don't know about that. I like that song, though, by the way.
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to hearing what that whole story is going to be in terms of the announcement and when that's going to happen. I'm excited. I know a lot of Charlotteans are excited about that. People in the Carolinas. Charlotteans, yes. I know you've only been in Charlotte for less than 2 years, but yes, that's one thing that you learn is they're called Charlotteans, and of course we call it Uptown.
Hey, fandom, we're gonna have to change that name. I don't like that name at all. I don't want to consider myself a charlatan.
Well, there's no N. It's charlatan. There's an N at the end. Can't do it, huh?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
So we're going to have some guests on the show next. I'm looking forward to that. So I hear we're going to be talking about the NFL draft, what the Panthers are looking to do, of course, the opportunities that they have. And we'll get somebody who is familiar with, of course, the Panthers as well as the draft. And I've got a couple people in mind. The question is availability, and we're looking forward to bringing them to you there, fandom.
That's awesome. That's great news. And you still have me here, so it's a win-win.
That's right. Cowboy Joe, for those people watching at home, Cowboy Joe, you may not know this, but he's a Cowboys fan. And but of course he lives in Charlotte. He's been a diehard Cowboys fan. Yeah, look at that. I'm sure. See, I'm repping the Panthers gear here tonight.
No, you're repping Cam Newton. He's gone. Get it right. Superman.
No, actually, if you look on the sleeve, it does say Carolina, so it doesn't say Cam Newton.
That's trademarked by Cam Newton. Sorry, you're gonna have to take that away.
You know what? I've asked, or people have asked me where they can get this, where I got this from, and it was someplace in the mall, in a different state. Where was it? It was in New Jersey, I think.
Wow.
In one of those kiosks.
Wow.
Yeah, they had see how it's kind of Superman like?
They had teams I didn't know you guys had to buy your gear in Jersey.
They had teams with the Batman logo, the Superman logo, and everything. I'm like, no, man, Panthers Superman. That's definitely the way to go.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Was the guy named Vinny, and was it a real mall or was it a trunk of a car? Which one was it? Tell the truth.
It was Vinny's kiosk. In the
Forget
Cherry Hill Mall.
This is Superman. Forget about it.
Yeah. No, but I love the sweatshirt. My favorite sweatshirt. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Cowboy Joe. For those of you who don't know, Cowboy Joe's a former football player. He's a coach. He knows his stuff. And, we're glad to have him on the show, of course, each and every week. And definitely looking forward to more of this. And we want to hear more from you, fandom. What do you want to talk about? If you're interested in coming on the show, let us know. Love to have you on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm definitely excited to have anybody, any fandom that wants to be on the show. You're more than welcome to come in. I want to talk to you guys.
That's right. Absolutely. Like your friend Greg,
Mm-hmm.
Catman Jr.
Oh, my arch enemy.
We love Catman Jr. just because you don't. That's just not
I
fair.
know. I like him. He's a great guy. I love the man. But we disagree on Dallas, and it just gets there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Feelings are hurt, and my feelings are hurt. By the way.
Any I don't even. I shouldn't even ask you this, but any thoughts on the Cowboys that you want to share?
Oh yeah, I want to thank the fandom. Well, Carolina, thank you, McCoy and Poe.
That's right. Well, we'll
And,
see.
and like I said, when Jeff fell off, I said, Cam, come to the dark side.
So where do you think he lands? I mean, the spots that are available that I'm thinking is you've got the Chargers, who right now they have Tyrod Taylor as their starter. You've got the Patriots, and right now they have Jared Stidham as their starter. And it's interesting fact, wasn't it? Was it Jared Stidham went to Auburn, didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't he?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah,
I thought so. Right? Where did Cam go?
Auburn.
Auburn.
But remember, Belichick always wanted that quarterback that could do both, run and throw. Cam could be that, or he could do like a Michael Vick, head to a destination where quarterback is needed. I think right now,
Did
depending
we
on what
lose him?
I'm here, I'm losing you. So I think Miami might be a destination. And if you guys don't agree, I think about it. If they don't grab their quarterback in the draft, where do you think he's going to go? Miami has an option of bringing him in.
Hopefully he'll rejoin us here.
I'm here,
Please
dude.
stand by.
I'm right here.
But hopefully on here this live edition of Carolina Fandom.
Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, I think we just lost Jeff completely. He went. Hey, fandom, we're back.
And we're back.
So you missed that whole. I was live. You weren't.
You know what? I think a conspiracy. The internet connection comes completely off the hinges here when we start talking about Cam Newton.
Let me tell you something. I think it's COVID-19 that's doing this right now.
You think?
I think so.
You think I have a virus?
I think so.
You think my Wi-Fi has a virus?
Yes. So let's go ahead and get that treatment going. 14-day containment.
Yeah.
So I was saying this: if depending on what the Dolphins do, if they can't get their quarterback in the draft and they can't find one, I think that's a perfect landing spot for him.
Yeah, I think they're going to go after Tua.
And I understand that, but I think there's a lot of teams that are looking at Tua right now too.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the Dolphins want to do there. Cam's an option. I was talking about that. I was talking about how Michael Vick transitioned when he came out of Atlanta and his illegal wrestling of canines, and he went to Philadelphia, and he had a good career there. So I think it's going to be a team it has a semi-good or a quarterback that's
right.
That's still hit or miss. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I might shock everybody. Denver, I don't see Denver doing it. Always too much in love with
Oakland. How about Oakland? Or excuse me, Las Vegas. I've done that too many times already.
No, they already got Mariota, so they're not going to go after another quarterback.
Yeah, well, maybe they decide against Carr.
No, so you know what? I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to throw this out there, fandom. The LA Rams.
Ooh.
Goff is a hit or miss quarterback.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting call there. Do you think Ron Rivera might want him in Washington?
With trading for Kyle Allen and Haskins, he naming Haskins as the starter, and it's Haskins' job to lose. I don't think it's going to be Cam MVP over there. I honestly think it's going to be one of those teams that have those hit or miss quarterbacks, and
Like
Goff is one of them.
like Jacksonville, is that a possibility?
Jacksonville,
Detroit,
Miami, depends on
Detroit.
how Detroit. Oh no, Stafford, dude.
You,
I think
so
Stafford's
you,
a really good quarterback.
I mean, I like Stafford too. I'm just going through the teams, and he's getting up to that he's getting up there. He's getting up there in age. The Colts have Rivers,
I'll tell
so
you
I
one
mean,
more. I'll give you one
what
more.
San Fran?
No, Uh, believe it or not, Garoppolo did what he had to do for
Hmm.
Shanahan, so he's their franchise right now. So, and with Debo Samuel's there, forget it, dude. That team is stacked in offense. They need to go ahead and pick up the defense a little bit more again. But my guess, these are the top three that I think he's gonna land. LA, the
Hmm.
Rams.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
And I'll give you a sleeper at the end, fandom. The LA Rams, Miami Dolphins, depending on what they want to do with Tua. If they draft Tua and they want to groom him for another year, depending
Hmm.
on his injury, if they want to keep him out for another year, sit him out so he learns, Cam's a perfect fit there. Or the Cleveland Browns, depending on what Baker May depending on what Baker Mayfield starts off in the season like.
Wow, interesting. That's an interesting take. I wouldn't think that.
And believe it or not, that would be a good landing destination for Cam and the Browns. Why? They got the receivers. They
Mhm.
got the offensive line and their defense. They're building up that defense.
So was Cleveland your sleeper?
That was my sleeper fandom. Think about that.
That's interesting. I don't know, man.
You notice I didn't say Jacksonville as my
No,
third. Why?
no,
Because
you like.
I think they're good there. I don't think they're going to be taking that. And besides, I think their coach is out this year anyway, so they're trying to hit or miss, see what he could do with that offense, see what they could do with the signings he has now. Too many chances were given to him. I think this is his season to either show out or be out.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of other teams too who have a young quarterback that's trying to prove themselves, like Carson Wentz in Philadelphia, like Sam Darnold with the Jets. No fits there.
No, you know why? Sam Darnold, he's their. They went for that. They wanted Darnold. They drafted Darnold, so it's going to be there. The Browns didn't really think about Baker Mayfield until the very end, and that's how they drafted him. I know he was number one, but hey, he's what in his third year now, going on his fourth, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, so
This
no,
is
it's
his
his
third
third
year.
year. It's
Hmm.
his
Same
third
with
year.
Darnold. They
So,
both came at the same time, right?
so we'll see how. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how he does this year. And honestly, I don't think they're going to hold off too much. Or a quarterback. Teams that have quarterback issues. Injuries.
Didn't the Rams just extend Goff though last year?
They did. So, but the thing is, what did Goff do last year?
Well, that's the thing. I agree with you. He's not necessarily uh, the best possible quarterback that the Rams could hope for, but he's still their guy right now.
He's still their guy, and I get that, but that's one of the. I think this offense. They're remaking. They revamped their uniforms. They revamped everything. They let go of Gurley. They need to
Mhm.
make they need to make a splash this season. And if they can't make a splash, I, we can't say that this is a rebuild for them. This year is not a rebuild for them because they have talent. Now, if they start trading away all their talent, I'll start believing it. But for now, letting Gurley go when he didn't even average 1,200 yards last year. That even
Yeah,
didn't even surpass that.
yeah. Well,
And
Rams
he
also
extended
had
it last
really
year
bad
too.
offensive line issues, but yeah. Now he's on Atlanta, so he'll get his second chance. But let's get back to Cam. Do you think he is a starting quarterback when and if the season gets started?
If he's 100% healthy, yes, he is.
You think so?
I believe so. And
Even if he
I'm not
gets,
the
even
biggest.
if he
I'm not the
gets,
biggest Cam supporter.
even if he lands on a team like you mentioned, the Rams or well, the Chargers most likely he would be, I would think. Same with New England, but Washington probably too. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious if he's a backup, is he going to be okay with that role?
At this point, you're gonna have to. You're in your 30s. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have your quarterback. You're going to a team that's already been there, and has led that team, knows that offense. It's going to take a while for him to transition into a new playbook, depending on the complexity of that playbook. So that's another thing that you have to think about. But once he knows that playbook and he's 100% healthy, I'm pretty sure any day he could beat out Goff. He could beat out Wentz. He could beat out anybody in. Ooh, I didn't even think about this either. You just gave me another sleeper that I'm thinking about, and it's in the East Coast part of the area.
AFC or NFC?
AFC.
Pittsburgh?
Yep. I was thinking about Pittsburgh.
That's an interesting take because they definitely have the space.
And we'll see what Rappensburger is going to do. That's how I call him.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I think Steelers fans would love Cam Newton.
Exactly.
And
that's the only Pennsylvania team I would root for, by the way.
Fair enough. That's a good take, man. I like Cam Newton to Pittsburgh. That's interesting. And it would, of course, he would take a backseat to Roethlisberger, right?
Loves quarterbacks that are mobile.
Sorry, say again.
That Tomlin loves mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be. I think that's my number one right now.
All right, so let's just say Pittsburgh picks up Cam Newton, and they have Ben Roethlisberger, Mr. I'm coming off of elbow surgery, a huge rehab, right? It wasn't a simple thing.
Was it in his throwing arm? I forgot if it was.
Yeah, it was. It was his throwing arm. Who starts? Let's just say this happens right now. Who starts for him?
If both of them are 100% healthy?
Yeah. Ben starts, right?
Nope.
You don't think?
Cam starts.
Ah, man, you've got two. You also have two.
Think about this. Think about it. The elbow surgery was in his throwing arm. That's one. Mm-hmm. That's one big red flag for me as a coach. Is he going to be strong enough? Will he be able to make those throws deep? Would he be able to make those slant throws? Could he throw a sidearm? Could he do? Those are the questions that I know Tomlin is having right now and saying, okay, if he's 100% healthy, I need to see it first. Mm-hmm. So preseason is going to be a battle between them two if they're both in that roster. But ultimately, Cam is younger, Cam is hungrier, and Cam's got a gun.
You think Pittsburgh's trying to come after Baltimore and Lamar Jackson? Of course they are.
Of course, they want that division.
They need a weapon.
They always own that division. Baltimore just proved to them, hey, we're back now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to give them a little wake-up call. They need to, and they haven't made any. They've been silent ever since. They've been really quiet. Aside from signing another Watt in that team, I don't know what else they've done.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Let's see. Who have they gotten? Anyone worth? They got Eric Ebron. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they signed that other Watt, the fullback.
Let's just make it a trifecta. Hey, JJ wants to go there. The Watts.
JJ wants to go there. Let's put them all there. That'd be great. That's interesting. Yeah, Eric Ebron is their marquee free agent signing of the offseason, but
they've been very quiet.
They have been quiet.
And they don't have a pick in the first round.
No, they don't have a first round pick.
So They need to make a splash. They need to. Rudolph is a good quarterback, but he's he though? He's a good Kyle Allen quarterback.
He's our local guy, right from Rock Hill.
Yeah, but he comes in, fills the void. Doesn't make too many mistakes. Follows the playbook to the T. You need an outside the box thinker, a risk taker like Cam. He knows how to audible. He knows how to. You know what? This defense is not giving me what this play is being called. I need to do something else. And I don't think Rudolph is ready for that. Roethlisberger is ready, but I think with Roethlisberger, honestly, I'm scared of his arm.
I know.
Could have made him weaker. You know, elbow surgery could bring down at least 10 to 15 yards off your throwing arm. You could have thrown it 30, 40 yards before. You're going to probably only throw 25 right now.
Jeez.
And you'll be afraid to even try to hyperextend that too. So you got to be careful.
Pittsburgh is an interesting take. I'm starting to like that more and more. But
yeah, because they're very quiet right now. Mm-hmm. And I know they need a quarterback. I know they're looking at their options right now, and they need something. And what other quarterback are out there right now, really? Think about it.
Well, Jameis Winston's out there. He's the only one, really.
Hold on. Interceptions or...
Oh, yeah. Cam...
No.
Winston can't hold Cam's jock, and he knows that. Winston will even tell you that straight to your face.
And I'll tell you this right now. Winston is another option for the Eagles.
Why do you say that?
Because Eagles love to pick up quarterbacks that they think they could resurrect. You know? Look at Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Well, Wentz was a number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. Does he deserve that money? He didn't. I don't think he deserved that extension.
Yeah, that was just one of those situations where it was him.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So I'm not sold on Wentz. I'm not sold on Goff. I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield. I'm sold on Darnold. You know why? Because Darnold could come back. Darnold has that grit in him that he could be Joey Broadway for the Jets any given day.
Yeah, I mean, I like Darnold. I like what he does. Of course, he had mono last year to kind of slow him down a little bit, at least in the beginning of the year. But
maybe he started all this CV-19 stuff. Conspiracy talk.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you say we put a bow on this show here and wrap this up?
Yeah, sounds good. Fandom, again, thank you for joining us. We'll be here every week now. We're back.
We're back.
We're
Thanks
definitely
so much.
back. Thank you, guys.